Good afternoon, Namaskar, distinguished guests, respected professor, colleagues, and fellow participants. First, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the OLLNC Department of Cal University and the Institute of Media Studies for the kind invitation to present my research today. So I'm honored to be part of this academic forum. So I would like especially to acknowledge Prof. Upenda Padi, the chairman of this conference, and Prof. Patit Paban Misra, my colleague when I was in Malaysia, for their support and for facilitating this intellectual space that encourages dialogue and in this interdisciplinary engagement. So actually, I think I will speak in the afternoon, but I think it is kind of rearranged, so I'm not really prepared to do it to this time, but it's okay. I have my. So I will be presenting my paper entitled Kalinga and Southeast Asia, Civilisational Exchange and the Formation of the Pre-Modern Regional Order. So my research revisits a significant but often underexplored chapter in Asian history, namely the role of Indian Kingdom of Kalinga in shaping the early international society of Southeast Asia. So drawing on theoretical perspective from constructivist, civilizational international relation and historical sociology. So my study aims to demonstrate that the regional order in Southeast Asia was formed not solely through economic or military means, but through civilizational dialogue, including the exchange of religious ideas, political cosmology, language, and art. So by tracing these cultural and symbolic exchanges, I also hope to contribute to the broader project of decolonizing international relation theory and to provide an alternative lens through which we can understand the historical foundation of regionalism in Asia. So first of all, I would like to define that Kalinga as a civilizational actor. So Kalinga, located in the eastern Indian coast, was a major maritime hub from around the 3rd century BCE. It connected India with Southeast Asia via the Bay of Bengal and played a pivotal role in transmitting religions, governance models, and cultural practices, acting not only as a trading state but as a civilizational bridge. So it was a maritime kingdom with strategic ports linking India to Southeast Asia. So it is also active in early Indian Ocean trade network and cultural exchange routes. It spreads Buddhism, Hinduism, Sanskrit language, and political cosmologies through monks, merchants, and royal envoys. Also, Kalinga took part in the Indianization of Southeast Asia. Kalinga played a major role in the Indianization of Southeast Asia. Indianization refers to how Indian culture influenced Southeast Asia through trade, religion, language, and art. But this influence was shaped by active local participation. Areas of influence cover political influence such as tributary states and alliances in Southeast Asia. So it also covers cultural transmission, language, scripts, Brahmi, Falapa, religions, Hinduism and Buddhism, temple architecture, styles spreading from Kalinga to Khmer, Cham, and Japanese temples. So it covers also arts and iconography, such as sculpture styles and motifs. So core region impacted by the Southeast Asia by India includes Indonesia, Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand and Malaysia. So, according to an expert of international relations, Amitabh Acharya, the Indianization was constitutive and selective. So Southeast Asia elites adapted Indian ideas to local needs. For example, it adopted mandala system, Devaraja kingships, and they are locally interpreted. So Hindu-Buddhist ideas merged with indigenous animisms and cosmology. India culture didn't erase the local, it fused with it. What emerged were hybrid systems where Indian ideas were reshaped into new Southeast Asian forms. Rather than a narrative of dominance, we can see the Indianization as a civilisational diplomacy, a shared project shaped by both sides of the Bay of Bengal. So the examples of Indianization is the mandala system. One of the relevant examples of Indianization is the mandala concepts, originated from the Sanskrit words meaning circle or sphere. This concept first was formalized by Kautilya in his book Artha Sastra. The first time the concept was kind of realist model of interstate strategy and diplomacy. But however, the concept was transformed after the post-Kalinga War. Asoka turned from conquest to Buddhist diplomacy. It maintained the central Mauryan prestige in an asymmetrical system, but it used cultural diplomacy as well. So Southeast Asia adopted mandala as a flexible system of influence. It focuses on religious, cultural, and symbolic diplomacy, not conquest. It is a contrast with the fixed sovereignty model of Western state. With regard to the Southeast Asia mandala system, the authority of kingdoms declined with distance from the center. So the broader the region, the weaker the influence of the center. So this is the kingdom system in the pre-colonial period. So in the Mandela system, the authority of the kingdom declines with the distance of the center. The further the region, the weaker the influence of the center. And in terms of sovereignty is a gradational, fuzzy, and floral. Smaller polities can be in multiple mandalas. Power from layers, not strict border. Power was relational, fluid, and often based on shared religious and symbolic norms rather than territorial control. The mandala system is a parallel with Javanese political cosmology. In Javanese view, power is niskala. It is a mystical, radiating, and centered. The kraton or the palace symbolize cosmic order and is the source of authority. It is a similar centripetal structure to Indian mandala. So according to Benedict Anderson, power is not created or destroyed, it is accumulated or lost. So this is a parallel system with mandala in Japanese political cosmology. So as I mentioned before, Indian models such as mandala were not imposed, they were selectively adopted and localized. And it reflects civilisational diplomacy, not cultural hegemony. So it is a hybrid structure like sacred kingships emerged through synthesis. And we can see this pre-colonial order of Southeast Asia in the Majapahit and Sriwijaya kingdom. So for example, in the Majapahit kingdom, It adapted Indian mandala concept to govern a vast and ethnically diverse archipelago. Majapahit centered in Java. Its influence extended to Sumatra, Bali, Kalimantan, and the Philippines. It's governed through federal diplomacy, trade, and cultural exchange, not through direct military rule. So it maintains symbolic supremacy while allowing local autonomy. So this is the interpretation of mandala system during the Majapahit period. And in Sriwijaya time, Sriwijaya was a Buddhist maritime kingdom linking India and China. It exercised centrality through religious patronage, trade networks, and cultural prestige. And so in the pre-colonial order of Southeast Asia, the key characteristic of the mandala system, it has no fixed border, power radiates outwards, weaker with distance. The authority is symbolic, not absolute. The relation is asymmetrical, overlapping, and negotiated. So it is in sub contrast with the Westphalian state system of fixed sovereignty and borders. And now I think I will move to the contemporary relevance, why the history still matters. So the mandala system offers insight into modern regionalism like ASEAN, which mirrors mandala principle. The historical experience of Kalinga and Southeast Asia still resonates today. ASEAN principle of non-interventions, consensus, and soft diplomacy reflects mandala values. India's East policy also revived these ancient ties, while Indo-Pacific strategies echo old maritime connection, showing that past civilizational ties still shape regional politics. And pre-colonial Southeast Asia saw the sea as a connective space, not a contested one. Today's Indo-Pacific tension, such as South China Sea, can benefit from this shared historical lens of connectivity. Rather than viewing the sea as a battleground, we can draw from history to frame it as a bridge of civilizational exchange. ASEAN reflects mandala principle, non-intervention, flexibility, and regional harmony over legalistic enforcement. Civilizational pluralism, mutual respect among diverse cultures shapes ASEAN cooperation. According to Acharya, ASEAN way is not weak. It is a culturally grounded form of diplomacy shaped by centuries of interaction. So in conclusion, I would like to say Kalinga shaped a pluralistic and culturally integrated regional system in Southeast Asia. Historical civilizational exchange continues to inform identity, diplomacy, and power relations in the region today. In conclusion, the Kalinga Southeast Asia relationship exemplifies a non-Western model of international relations. It invites us to rethink how region forms, how power exercise, and how civilizational legacies shapes today's diplomacy. By acknowledging these long-standing connections, we can move toward a more inclusive and historically grounded understanding of global politics. Further research should explore civilizational diplomacy as a key framework for understanding global orders. That's all. Thank you for your kind attention.